Okay, folks. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? We're a small but mighty group this morning, so thank you for taking time to join us. The first item of business is we always send out our minutes from our previous meeting, and Luis did that. Of course, I think he captured everything based on our conversation. Both Terry and I reviewed. So can we get a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting? If there's no questions or comments. I saw your hand go up, Lorena. Are you?
Oh, somebody was saying bye to me. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't at the last meeting, so I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll motion.
Great. All right. Then all those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Our minutes have passed. The next item is program updates. And again, Gabino, I don't know, Luis, you were at the meeting on Monday. Is there anything you want to share before we ask Sarah to share her update?
Sure. I'll keep it very brief, and Sarah, please interrupt anytime if I get it wrong. I know the focus of the meeting I know was on the mask mandate and the changes that are happening this week, not just here in Ventura County, but all throughout California. There's a lot of questions that were a lot of kind of personal questions for Dr. Levin as well about continuing to wear masks. Should we or shouldn't we? There was a discussion on some aside from the vaccine, some of the vaccine related drugs that will be available soon that I think Dr. Levin had also talked about, recommending that people talk to their doctor specifically about it. There was also an announcement on other events that are coming up, some that are scheduled for this weekend regarding vaccine outreach, I think with Nyland Promise and a few other places throughout the county from some of our fellow CBOs. I think that was the main part of it. I don't know, Sarah, if there's anything else you want to add to that.
Yeah, I came a little late, like 15 minutes after the meeting had started. I did share on that day that we had a canvassing planning session. So prior to a canvassing event where we go door to door to provide education to people, we have an opportunity for everyone to just meet and just go over the, just safety rules in general, and also go over some of the materials that will be distributed and, all those details that are important. But today is the canvassing for that day, this afternoon. And it's to bring people to the event for Nyland Promise. They're collaborating with the Oxnard Performing Arts Center. And it was also for Tres Sierras. So I believe Tres Sierras is on Friday, and then next week is the OPAC in the afternoon. So it was to promote those two events in the south end of Oxnard. And the only thing I was sharing there too is that the incentive cards, the $25 incentive cards, while they are not available at North Oxnard, the clinic that's on Gonzalez Road and many other places, they are available for first, second, and booster doses in the 930-41 and 930-33 area with the mobile vaccine clinics. So they are available. It may get too confusing, but in other places and other zip codes, if the incentive cards are available, they are only for first and second doses. So in the south end of Oxnard, boosters also qualify for that incentive. I shared also that we started providing a space for promotoras to share virtually online, just what they're seeing out in the community and what people are asking them. And we also provided, we have a charla during this public health update, which is twice a month on Fridays at 3 p.m., the second and fourth Friday of the month. For an hour, we meet and we provide them with our own updates around schools, the Promotora initiative that we have with organizations to build capacity in their promotoras, and also on vaccine equity. But after that, we talk, we open it up for any questions, and then we provide them with data, and then we ask them, what do you think? Is that something that also is do you see it here in Ventura County? And if so, why do you think that there is a need for that? Is there an access need, or is there an issue with the acceptance of the vaccine in certain groups? And so the two groups that we did discuss were women that are pregnant, and also the fact that when you look at ethnicities and races in Ventura County, Latinos are second with the lowest vaccine acceptance, and African Americans and Blacks are first with 77%. Just to compare that and put it into perspective, Asians and white group, they are above 100%.
Wow.
And so that's those are the two questions that we asked. Why do you think that there is less acceptance amongst these two groups? So in a study from last year, only 16% of women were vaccinated, received one or more doses of vaccine. That was last year. This is through a peer-reviewed study that was published this year in January. But they also did an international study, and amongst 16 countries, we were at the lowest. So with vaccinating our pregnant women, or the acceptance in this group. So those are the kinds of things that we talk about. Those talks are in Spanish, and they are there to provide them with information that is factual so that they can go back to the community and share those facts with them. And also so amongst themselves, they can share some of the tactics that they use to influence in a positive way the safety of the vaccine. So those are the things that we have going on right now.
Well, that's an amazing statistic in terms of the marks of less acceptance. I didn't realize that they were that low. And then so impressed by the promotoras, also just their passion for getting the word out, right? And then the support that they're receiving from you in public health in terms of just keeping them as well informed as possible and giving them that space to share with one another, because I'm sure it's got to be really difficult, because they hear, and they know the importance of getting vaccinated, yet the hesitancy, right? And it's got to be very emotional work for them. So how many promotoras are you the county is working with right now? I know various organizations have them, the promotora programs, as part of their foundation of their program or their organization, but about approximately how many promotoras on any given, when you bring them together, how many promotoras and how many promotoras are there out there in the community?
We don't know how many, but coming to the public health updates that we just started, this was the second one. There were 18 of us, minus the 3 panelists or presenters, then about 15.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And when we come together as a group to do the canvassing, it's anywhere from 8 to like 12. We've had up to 15 people. But you're right, maybe we should have a count. I don't know. As we continue, these updates will continue until next year, until February. We don't have any plans of making it something that is short term. Yeah.
Well,
COVID isn't going away. We thought it was. It's not. It's still here. People are.
We're all kind of wondering what the new normal is going to be, right? We're looking at it here at CDR because we're constantly updating our COVID prevention program and our return to workplace toolkits. We have a toolkit for our employees here at central office and in our central warehouse, and then we have a toolkit that's basically the same with some tweaks because it's for the Head Start centers, right? The 28 preschool centers. And so it's slightly different, but we're constantly, following the lead of public health and California Department of Public Health, OSHA, when OSHA was, so it's just been evolving. And we're all wondering, we're getting a lot of questions from our employees about the mask mandate, right? In terms of, because we've also been promoting every employee to come by HR to pick up the KN95 or a surgical mask that we have a supply of.
Mhm.
And some people are a little confused by that because they're saying, well, why are you passing out masks if there's no longer a requirement if you're vaccinated wearing it? But we're going to continue. We're going to continue despite the lifting of wearing a mask for vaccinated indoors. We are going to continue to or highly encourage employees to wear their mask when they're inside, even if they are vaccinated. But great work.
People
Great
have
work.
the option. Yeah. The
Yes,
cloth
yes.
ones provide you with 56% protection. And then if they want more protection, then they can use the other ones.
Right, right.
So,
Well, thank you for all the work that you've been doing, Sarah. We really appreciate your work, Ventura County Public Health, and I know it's a partnership with all the CBOs, and thank you for the update. Really appreciate it.
no, it really is. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, I have a question.
Mhm.
I recently read an article that indicated that giving COVID immunizations to pregnant women conferred some immunity on their unborn children. Have you read anything about that? Because if it's credible, it could be a compelling argument for pregnant women to get vaccination.
The COVID vaccine is safe for pregnant women.
Yeah, but of the article that I know that. I
Mhm.
mean, I agree. But the article that I read indicated that if you immunize the pregnant woman, the fetus, when it was born, would be protected.
The fetus does benefit.
Yeah.
Benefit from the
Yeah, so
antibodies.
that's what I
that
was
they have.
asking. If it's credible, I think that might be a compelling argument for pregnant women.
That is true. That is true. And it's one of the responses that we had during that conversation with our promotoras, that is a point that they can make.
Okay.
Something that one of them said, she said, I just tell them that it's better that they get poked rather than their baby.
Yeah. Well, and their baby's not, I mean, we can't poke babies.
No, not yet, but this is how
but later.
were-
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that clarification. That's great. Thank you.
That's a great way to respond to that hesitancy, right, from pregnant women. I love that. Just it's something they can really. I think as mothers, they're probably they're gonna want to take care of their baby, and that's a great way of protecting their baby even before the baby is delivered. So, yeah, great. That's good info. All right. Also, Luis, there was some conversation at I know the county of Ventura, the public information officer usually gives us an update on updated flyers or collateral material. Was there anything related to collateral materials or updates that was shared on Monday?
Yes, Jackie had mentioned that a lot of the signage, specifically, for businesses or organizations as well, regarding the mask mandate and the use of masks, has been updated, and that's available to download. Sarah, correctly from the same place, right, where we can get our toolkit.
Yeah. Okay. And we also have some. We have we have quite a number of copies for that provide information about the face masks for children. We have that handout. And we also have the Omicron tools handout with the graphics, children's in the graphics. We have those as well. We have plenty of copies. So all you need to do is just let me know and we'll provide those for you if you need them.
I'm sure we have it in an electronic format that if we wanted to share it with our subcommittee here, because I know a lot of us aren't here today, but maybe we can send it out as an attachment, and then if they want any, they can contact public health directly.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be helpful because again, just sharing of information and updates is helpful. And if they need more resources, they know where to go to. And if we attach the two documents, they can also, we're raising their awareness as well, which is important.
And Sarah, I know we last couple of weeks we've been collaborating a little bit with Poder Popular in Santa Paula, and provided printed up some flyers for them. I was working with Jackie to make sure that we had the latest flyers. So we did provide quite a bit, because I know they hand out anywhere from 700 to 800 flyers a week based on all their distributions. So is the county still being able to provide copies of flyers if the CBO no longer has any of the grant funds available, or is that something that we can continue to maybe collaborate with some of the organizations in case we do have extra funding available?
We have funds. So when you are referring to the flyers that copies were produced for, are these the weekly flyers with the lists of the listing the clinics?
No, this was the updated one, on the half-page one on the masks, on the different masks that you could wear and what the kind of coverage.
Oh, okay.
Protection they provide.
We have copies of those too.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
So they can continue, or they can request copies of those directly from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
And
do you have any copies? Sorry, any copy to talk about for pregnant women? Any flyer to talk about the benefits of them getting vaccinated?
No, but we can make them, Lorena.
I think that would, I mean, if you do, I would definitely get some. I know we have some pregnant teens here at school. So we can definitely share that with them.
Yeah, something that was shared with us during the public health update was that they told us, we don't want all these handouts with all this text and stop. Please don't expect us to give out 3-4 leaflets to people. All we want is bullet points. And if anything, just tell us what the background behind each of those bullet points is so that we can talk to people, because that's how most of our outreach happens. So just FYI, but I know that I'm offering the materials, but I would just say that the promotoras are, leaning towards just focusing on one, like you said, Lorena, they're pregnant. This is the one we're going to get. This is the one we're going to provide. So one would be fine if you distribute those. They said that the way that they like receiving information, that they know that people like receiving information, is electronically on their phone, through a text, or on the social media platform that they visit the most.
Wow, that's great feedback too, in terms of how they really want to have a conversation that's more engaging and can answer questions in a conversation format versus passing out flyers. So yeah.
Because they said, why we're slow is because we have all this material and we're expecting them to read it. But as soon as if they see something on their feed and it grabs their attention, they'll share it, and that picks up speed much quicker than the work that we can do. So they said, can you please produce stuff that we can have that same effect, where it's catchy, people are interested, and they are more inclined to share it, so that it also spreads like fire, just like the misinformation and disinformation that is out there. So if there's anything like that you can do, or I'll share that with Jackie. There's so many meetings, but I can share that with Jackie and Ashley too, so that we can start working more on, intentional web-based content that people can share.
That's very helpful, because we also have different communication tools that we have here at CDR, like our monthly newsletter. In our monthly newsletter, we like to share information with all of our employees, and you're right, it's more efficient that way, because something grabs their attention and then they share it with others, and they share it with their families, they share it with your friends. So yeah, anything that we could get electronically. Our next newsletter is March 4th, and Luis works on that. He takes the lead on gathering all the content. But if there's something in particular, Luis, that you think we should include in our next newsletter, feel free to contact Sarah directly.
Yeah, and that'd be perfect. And Sarah, that's a really good point, because I know in talking to Poder Popular specifically, I know they still are handing out flyers, which is why we provided some copies. But I also noticed that some of the flyers that they hand out are, maybe some of the information is a little outdated. I worked with Maria, and she provided copies of the things that they were handing out at the time. And I consulted with Jackie, and she provided really good feedback on saying that, you know, some of that information is outdated, and that's why some of the other flyers were updated, and we provided copies for those. But and it might be the same with other CBOs, maybe just kind of as a quick check-in to see if they are either piecing together of, you know, different flyers, because I know they've done that with some CBOs have done that, and or, you know, if some of the information that they're using is a little bit outdated, and just maybe they just need a reminder to check with the newest one, the latest one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll include the one we have about pregnancy in the email for Lorena and anybody else who needs it.
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be great. You know, it's Luis, I was just thinking about, that would be wonderful to, when we get that, to share it with Suzanne, who oversees all of our early education programs. And just a little reminder too, because we also have our early Head Start program that works with pregnant mothers and with children 0 to 3, and it's in a home-based environment. So that would be perfect, because based on the feedback from the promotoras, they could shoot the information to the families they're working with. And then when the family development educators are actually working with the family in the home, they could have the same model of, you know, talking with the family about any of the information. And I'm sure they would appreciate talking points versus a collateral flyer. I know that, you know, they're also working with the family and, you know, establishing a relationship, a trusted relationship with them. So that might be a good approach for us too, as we're nearing this next phase of whatever the pandemic is going to be. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Very helpful information and conversation. Would there be, would Terry or Lorena want to share any information? Do you have any information to share under our CBO updates, or any requests or anything that on your mind that you'd like us to address?
I just have a quick update. We've been working with Yaderi, I want to say the new Sarah, and Rodrigo to schedule a parent workshop for March 16th, just to talk about vaccination safety in general. And, you know, and the new updates, you know, of the different vaccines, and any new county and state updates for our parents to know. We're also working to see if we're scheduling a presentation for our students. They're doing more of a peer-to-peer outreach within the classroom for both Santa Paula and the Port Hueneme area. So again, just kind of, you know, talking to each other, promoting, you know, COVID safety, washing your hands and that kind of thing. And you're right, I think it is confusing now that, you know, we're returning back to school and students are expected to wear their masks, but now they're going outside and maybe they're not expected to do as much. So a lot of that information, just getting our students to understand, you know, what the rules are wherever they're at. So we'll definitely have some information for you to share with your parents if they would like to attend that parent workshop on this March 16th. And then we'll also helping promote the vaccination clinic that's happening at Tres Sierras. We've sent out notifications to our parents. We're in the same shopping center as that mobile clinic. So we sent out notifications to our parents at the beginning of this week, and then they'll get one on Friday as well. Hopefully, you know, we can get some parents and students to attend that as well.
Which community is that one, the Tres Sierras?
They're at, well, we call ours our Port Hueneme school side, but it's really at the border of Oxnard and
Got it.
Hueneme.
Okay.
I think the only thing that I have to share is that the initiative for using student volunteers for Cal State Channel Islands is moving forward through the Center for Community Engagement. So if anybody would like to use any of those students, they can just let me know, or Lisa or Jack, and we can get you in touch with Pilar, who is running that program. Otherwise, everything is good.
And I just wanted to First, thanks, Lorena, for your update. Lorena, very helpful information. And Terry, thank you for your efforts on working with Cal State University Channel Islands and with Pilar. We really appreciate your efforts. And then I'm going to have a follow-up meeting. Luis, Terry, and I talked in preparation for this meeting. And so I'll connect with Gabino and just talk a little bit more about how we can really establish this relationship that Terry has planted to seed and engage the Center for Community Engagement and their students who may be interested in assisting with not only the vaccine outreach, but a couple of other initiatives that Gabino is working on. So Terry has taken it to this point. We'll, with the CBO funding, as we know right now through the end of March, if there is no more funding, CDR is going to continue. I think we had the third round of funding, and we're reconciling where we're at with those funds. And if we need to extend beyond March, of course, we're gonna do that. I know that Gabino has allowed us that flexibility, so that's why we're looking at our funding where we're at right now and what other activities we can do in March and maybe even beyond March. So more to come on that. We are going to have a March meeting. Our next meeting is March 17th at 9 a.m. And at that point, we'll also maybe have some more information about BCCF potential funding opportunities. I'm not quite sure where they're at with that, but I know they're having conversations about the possibility of putting out another allocation of funds. So by our next meeting, we should have some more information about that. Are there any other items before we adjourn? Again, we have the gift of 30 minutes of time, but I really appreciate everyone's participation today and attendance. And again, thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you have a great day today. Be like a wind chime and enjoy the day today because it's a beautiful day out there despite the wind. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Bye.
Sarah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jack.
Bye.
Bye, Luis.
Bye-bye.